Yeah, hey Ronald there, my followers, my just occasional viewers who might just had a look on this nice channel, and just to I don't know. I don't do my sound recording sessions on Saturdays, let alone on Sundays. But I thought on my way home, why not to commence? Because I want to more English to come into my life, and regarding that, why not? And I just decided kinda that I felt kind of relief for a recent time inside me, that I felt kind of something happens, something comes out to me in terms of my English learning point, and I kind of felt more freedom inside me and more desire and purest wish to speak, like regardlessly of the topic I'd been given to speak about, and that's just my point that I follow these years, I should say, these last years, let's say around not 4 but 2 years now. I've been practicing my English. I've practiced, I should say, my English, and that's kind of the point that I felt kind of internal, like rod, the metal made rod that resides within me, and that's my English, and that's how it feels like for my personal attitude, and that's how I approach my style of learning as for my English. And today I've been to some cool venue. Actually, we were all gathered there, sporty peeps, and we were about to do our sports stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of volleyball, handball, or not handball, like volleyball kind of thing. And I tell you what, as soon as we gathered there, and by the way, there was another gal who was in charge. Actually, that was her mother who was in charge. That gal's mother who was in charge of that kind of activities, and we're about to commence at 6 p.m. But we were waiting for some miracle to come into our lives, and it wasn't a miracle at all. It was the harsh and rude intervention into our schedule, conducted by some unknown sport teams, and our pips. They rented a place for, let's say, 2 hours, and we arrived right at time, and we were still waiting for that moment to start our sport activities. And we were not late at all. We were just right at time, and still we've been waiting for hour and a half for commencing our sport activities at that venue that we were attending today. And I kind of followed for, let's say, I don't know, 40 minutes, and that's before the stuff commenced. And before commencing the stuff, I've been there for half an hour, and hour before half an hour, it goes like hour and a half. And I know, I'm sounding out like running silly things now, but that's my style of ramblings. That's my voice of freedom, of the purest freedom of English language. If you're not familiar with that stuff, I'm familiarizing you right now with what's happening here, and that's my thing. That's my thing. Alex's thing, and I kind of met a friend of mine. His name is Ben, to be short, and understood, I should say. His name is Ben, and we were having a small chat about some ordinary stuff, and he kind of asked me for how long I've been studying English, and I replied that I've been on it for the recent time. I've been on it around 3 years now, and before that period of time, I kind of quit it for a long while, and before I quit it, I was learning my English at university, and before I learned that at university, I learned English at school, and that was the starting point of my learning process as for my English, and I'm so big on that, and I kind of, as I reported you not longer than 5 minutes maybe ago, I reported that I love the way it goes right now. I mean, I don't feel any boundaries as for advancing about my English, and I don't feel any just, I don't know, maybe unknown grounds anymore, any gray areas that might surround me before I started to do my English more intensively. And these days it spills out of me, I don't know, not complete automatically, but maybe automatically. Maybe I'm not confessing things as they are right now. And the point I started to make my video shoots on Saturdays as I'm doing now. Forgive me if I pronounce a lot of things in the wrong way, and that's what I confessed in front of that lead friend of mine whose name is Ben. And I said, you know, we've been so many years with my learning process as for my English. I felt I learned physical skill, not a knowledge, and he agreed. And what I was gonna say was, and still is, that I forgot the point actually. I wanted to say that I felt like that I spread out along with my English, and I intertwined with my English, and I make the complete whole thing with my English these days, and I don't regard myself as a separate being without being intertwined with my English. And that's became my second native language. And let's say, I don't know, I'm able to understand up to 99% of the high rate of speeches. I follow news channels, a bunch of news channels like, I don't know, CNN, Bloomberg, BBC, and that guy whose name is Benjamin. He said that I made British related accent, and I was even now regarding the way I speak now, the way I'm able to apprehend English stuff. Regarding these, I felt regret that I'm doing British related accent and not doing like American kind of accent, as I'd been reported one time in my life before that. And I'd been reported that I made a slightly resembling American accent, and I was astonished and mesmerized and even just exhilarated at the moment, you know what I'm saying. And then because I want to do my American related accent and not being related to British one, because I don't want to sound like a Brit. I don't want to sound like people from Big Britain, from England, from Scotland, whatever. I want to sound like a Native American. Let's say I'm in the midst of the American average town, and I'm there, and I'm about to have a banter with the locals, and I want to sound in a fluent way like Americans do, like those nice lit peeps whose names are had been announced earlier, and you know them all, right? And you know me, what I'm doing here. And regarding these, I tend to do so-called American, standard American accent, which we easily call not having any accent at all. And I'd been said earlier that I had American one, and today I was said that I had British one, but nonetheless I replied you know, bro, I would rather have any other foreign derived accent, but not having my own, like my native language derived accent. And he agreed and nodded, and he was like, I understand you, bro. I know what I'm saying and what I'm about to tell me right now. And that's been my I'm not just finished now, but I don't fucking even know what to tell you, and but I want to tell a lot of stuff, and let alone saying that I confessed in front of that Benjamin guy, and I said to him, you know, I'm still on it about being able to pronounce right English sounds, and I confess that I barely could pronounce the word in the right way. And I say it, I drilled it a lot of times being alone in my apartment, like word, word. And he said I said it in the right way, and I was relieved once again, and that was my best appraisal, best assessment I've been ever given, and I was glad, and I was just kind of uplifted again, and I'm uplifted again now in front of you, making those ramblings. If you listen to these two, if you are still listening to those ramblings, I applaud you. I applaud you just your patience and your tolerance to this shit that I'm about to roll out, and I'm rolling out it right now down the road, and that's how it's always been, how I just forwarded my channel earlier, and I'm about forwarding it these days. And guys, what else do you want me to tell you just right now? I don't know, you have no choice actually. You have your choice. You may shut us off in order to preserve some more spaces on your nicest brains, in order not to clutter up your minds with this shit that I'm doing right now, but that's still my world, and that's my small but complete mind universe that I created, and I brought this on myself, and I created it myself, my English related universe, and that's my small world where I live and where I reside and where I create all my English that I own right now, this time of my life, I should say. And I don't know, I more often or more rarely, but I do my English related speaking missions regularly, and though I must say that I don't do any speaking missions in my own language. Once I've done that, but that was kind of, I don't know, ordinary thing for me, and I didn't want to immerse myself deeper into that shit in order to be more rambling in English than I could do in my native language. You know what I'm saying? Again, not to get disaccustomed or doing this stuff in English, because when I do it in English, it goes automatically, as I'm doing right now. When I was to commence the same shit in my own language, that felt kind of different way, and I kind of had to disaccustom my brain of doing this in English, and get used my brain to doing it in my own language. And I don't want that to happen, because I don't want to get unused of doing this unprepared stuff in English. And I can easily do it in my native language, you know what I'm saying, but who cares about that? The only thing I care in this particular videos, it's about advancing and enhancing and polishing and refining my English, and especially as it goes to pronouncing things, and being able to speak at length, being able to speak without having any script in your head, and by not having any script, I mean not having any premed things in your mind to speak about, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just letting the things, pulling other things out of my mind and lay them on my tongue, and being started out without any hesitation, the way as it goes automatically, without any preparatory ground, you know what I'm saying? And guys, I don't want to clutter up your brain too much about this particular speaking mission of mine, as I just laid it on you, and thanks for your being in my life, for your presence on this channel, for subscribing or unsubscribing or not subscribing at all. I value you all, and I value everything that you make, or everything that you do or don't do or whatever. And that's been my current speaking mission. I hope I'll be forwarding my missions on Saturdays and maybe Sundays. We'll see how it goes. I'm not big about making any huge promises without delivering them, but we'll see how it goes by itself. That's it about tonight. Thanks for your attention. Thanks for being on my channel, and just be good and lit, and you know what to do, right? See you all. Bye. Thanks for your presence. See you all. Bye.